Hello, welcome to No Filter Boxing. This week we catch up with Anthony Yarde and TUNDE AJAYI as they prepare for one of the most eagerly anticipated fights of the year against Sergey Kovalev.
August 24th, Lions in the camp. Anthony Yarde goes to Russia. TUNDE AJAYI goes to Russia. And we knock out Kovalev. Take home the WBO Championship of the World.
We'll also go inside the training camp of Carl Frampton as he sets his sights on getting back into the ring in a few weeks' time.
My dream at the minute is to get back to being a world champion, call myself a world champion again. And if I do, if I win another world title, I've kind of cemented myself as Ireland's greatest ever fighter.
But we begin with Yarde as he looks to dethrone Kovalev in Russia. It's a huge task in what should be a thrilling contest.
The beast, Anthony Yarde.
You could feel the weight of that body shot, and by that hurts. Oh, goodness me. Down he goes, clubbing right hands, good fast hands.
How about that?
Oh, great shot. Two savage body shots, and a big right hand as well.
Oh, what a great shot! What a punch!
Big right to the body. Oh, that's surely it. And it is all over.
So Anthony, how do you see this fight with Kovalev? Is it an opportunity? Is it a hard task? How do you see it?
Well, I feel like we'll find out on the night. I just got to go in there and do my job. That's it. And all that's in my mind is victory by KO.
What will be the most satisfying thing about beating Kovalev in Russia?
Again, the challenge, as you're saying, this to some people it seems like an impossible task. And just like when I started boxing and so many people said that it's impossible for me to get to the stage I'm at now, it's just another challenge. And I'm one of them people that's driven by challenges.
There are the critics, skeptics, the same guys we talked about, that said the jump to Kovalev from the guys that you fought is too big a jump.
Well, I just see it as this. It's always going to be like that. You know, there's some people that literally go through the rankings very slowly. There's some people that get offered opportunities and just don't ever take it. I've got the opportunity here, and I feel like I've got the ability, I've got the capabilities to do it. So why not? It got put to me before. I was up for it then. Because again, I said this before. People say, oh, he's not fighting nobody, he don't want to fight anybody, whatever. You're a joker. You're actually a joker. When it got put to me first time, I was up for it. And that was a while ago. But now, again, my team, everyone's in unanimous agreement within my team. So we're going to Russia and we're going to enjoy it.
Tunde, it's an audacious ask, isn't it, to go to Russia to beat the consensus #1 in the world. It's a big job, isn't it?
No, not at all. And to answer your question about the jump in class, I asked you a question. Who did Kovalev fight before he fought for his first world title?
Well, I suppose Kovalev, I suppose his big step up in class was Cleverly when
Exactly.
he fought for the WBO.
Exactly. Who did?
But Cleverly, I'm not sure, was a consensus #1.
Who did?
With a back catalogue of big wins
Okay,
behind
then
him.
who did Callum Johnson fight before he fought Bataviev? Go and look at his record. Look at Anthony's record. Look at Anthony's last 5 fights.
Do you foresee a hard night?
No.
Do you envisage having to show things that you've not shown us before?
Have to, I don't know. I could go in there literally pop, pop, and knock him out first round. You don't know. Again, you deal with it on the night. You don't start thinking about bad things or think about how hard it's going to be or what ifs or whatever. Sometimes you don't even think about what you're going to go in there, and you don't think about how easy it's going to be. Because again, you might become complacent. You work hard in the gym, you do your job, and on the night, you demonstrate, you perform. That's what boxing's about. People try to muddle it up and confuse it. You go in there, you're going to have a fight.
Tunde, as a manager and trainer, what's your assessment of the 175-pound division?
I just feel the person responsible for making it glamorous is Anthony Yarde. That's why I say he's the A-side. I believe you know, it's taken a person like Anthony to come along and glamorize the division. He is the modern-day Roy Jones of the 175 division, in my opinion. We got every fighter, light heavyweight in the UK talking Anthony's name. Everyone talks about Anthony Yarde. In the US, everyone, if they wasn't before, are now talking about Anthony Yarde. I said it from the very start on BT. I said he's a cross between Mike Tyson, Roy Jones, and Floyd Mayweather, and I meant it because, you know, one thing Anthony didn't say, you know, that we both like about Mike is the KO.
100%.
And I think Anthony's record suggests that he loves the knockout. Earlier in Floyd's career, definitely a puncher. As he went up in weights, he wasn't so much of a puncher. But even Floyd,
he had bad hands as well.
Yes, but even Floyd was a knockout specialist. You know, and I used to watch Floyd spar big guys in the gym, very strong. But for me, Anthony, there's only one Anthony Yarde, so you can't really put him in. You can't really say he's a Mike or Roy or Floyd. He's Anthony Yarde. He's special, indivisible.
It's not just British boxing that's getting excited about it, though. Obviously, there was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson tweeted about the fight. Which is great. You're a big fan of his, or have been a fan of his over the years.
Listen, there's very few people, the word you just said, a fan. There's very few people I'm a fan of. But again, I was one of them people I grew up, you know, doing the people's eyebrow. I was one of the people that had all the fake belts. Don't know if I can do it good, but I had all the fake belts. I made my own belts. I used to walk around in pants with my knee braces, with my elbow pads.
You did messing up my mum's house. Austin waistcoat
Everything.
as well.
I had the Steve Austin waistcoat. I cut out letters to put 316 here. I was a wrestling fan, but The Rock and Stone Cold were my main guys. The Rock was more of my guy, so I was one of the people messing up my house.
Could you imagine a career switch like that down the line?
I don't really focus on that right now. I feel like focusing on one thing at a time. And right now it's boxing and, you know, trying to get yourself into the Hall of Fame.
Because I heard I heard a line, I think it was on a podcast the other day, they said that you're one of the few guys that could win a world title and Love Island on the same night.
You ain't gonna see me in Love Island, I'll tell you that for free. I'll tell you that for free.
No more.
Tunde has been a real, would you say, role model to you?
You know what? Tunde has been a role model. Tunde's definitely been a role model. I don't know anybody, I've never heard of anybody, even through watching TV. I've never seen somebody study for as long as Tunde does, to keep his concentration. I've never seen someone so focused for so many years. When I first met Tunde, I used to say, this guy's mad, this guy's been reading, this guy's been reading these...
Everyone still says that now.
Everyone still says that. And again, everyone that people say is mad, years down the line, they say he's a genius. That's why I called him genius from the first time I met him.
He's the one who actually gave me the name Genius.
Yeah, I called him a genius because I didn't understand how this guy was sitting there reading combinations for hours, putting it into practice. I didn't understand how he remembered his combinations.
Back in the day, on the street, Tunde was a diplomat, keeping everyone sweet and not taking sides and all the rest of it. And he was just, you know, he was doing what he could.
Is that what he told you? I'm joking.
Without raising hell.
Yes.
Without getting too far drawn into the gang life. But for you, was that ever an option?
It was. I feel like it was an option because it was there. But it was never my reality.
Is it a hard thing to fight? The lure, the temptation of wanting to be like others, of wanting that status? Is it a hard thing to fight? The kids in England, in London, find it hard to resist that?
I feel like they find it hard because they're weak, they're lazy and they're scared. I've never been like that, so when I saw certain things, I've got a mind, I've got a brain, and a lot of people do. A lot of people also got intuition. They know when something's right and wrong, but they choose to do it because it's the easy thing to do. Their boys are doing it, their friends are doing it, so I'm going to do it as well. It's a follower's mentality.
Do the streets ever call you now?
You know what? They always call me.
It says with sirens going.
Literally, because this is where we are. This is where we are. We're in Stratford right now, and again, the streets always call you. You'll be walking down the street, you drive in your car, and there's people looking at you funny. But again, that's something I outgrew. You know, I remember when I was younger, and literally Stratford over there, McDonald's, I had a certain mentality, and there was a guy that was staring at me for at least 3 minutes. At least 3 minutes. This is when I was growing up and I was younger. So I went over to him and I said, "Do you fancy me?" And literally, he didn't know what to say. Like, he looked me up and down a couple of times, and I said, "I'm asking you a question, do you fancy me? Because you don't know me, so why are you looking at me?" And then me and him ended up becoming good friends. Because what I said made him laugh. And even in a serious situation, he said, "I can't believe you just asked me if I fancy you." You get what I'm saying? But my mentality was, I reacted to what he was doing. Nowadays, I wouldn't do that. I would look at somebody and I'll probably smile, I'll probably put my hand up and carry on driving.
It's just, you can see, exactly, but you can just see that you're just throwing, like, it's so relaxed.
Do you ever have to motivate him to train, to do it?
You see me, I don't talk. I don't talk, and that's the connection that we have. It's not a verbal thing.
Do you ever have days when he comes in here and he doesn't fancy it?
Never. And those, well, I can say never. The days that he doesn't feel himself, that's when he works. And that's the difference between Anthony Yarde and everyone else I've ever trained. Sometimes he walk in and I say, "Ant." Nah, and he said, "Me or you." That's his exact words, "Me or you." And those are the sessions where I feel he has the best sessions.
Every day of training is a good day.
So you feel like training every day?
Yeah. Good, progression. That's what I said to you earlier. Progression is everything. Progression is what motivates me. What you just said about a normal job, that motivates me. Because I've done that, I don't want to do that.
What did you have, normal job?
I was basically called a collection specialist, so people fall into arrears with their mortgages and things like that. Okay. And we used to put in payment plans for them. If you're over 6 months, it's repossession time. Shit, lions in the car.
Lions in the camp.
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 If I say Kovalev to you now, what goes through your head?
I don't care about Kovalev. Kovalev don't exist when I'm here. Don't exist in the ring either. Kovalev. It's A1. It's AJAYI. It's Lions in the camp.
Left, right, champ.
Oh, your head's soft off. The main that. The main that.
Give me the hook. 2 of them. Yeah, I got you. 2 of them. Right. Right. Hold that. Come on, Ann. Come on, Ann. Knock him out. Knock him out. Byron!
If you smell was the beast! Beast. Cuckoo. I've got 9 texts. This is what I'm going to do. He's a machine.
What's he got left to just do some skipping?
Some groundwork. He's a machine. Remote control.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick, follow the yellow brick, follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road, you know what I mean? What? Pot of gold. Thank you. Follow the money. Follow the yellow brick road. Yellow bricks. Yellow bricks. That's what it means, follow the yellow brick road.
There's only ever going to be one Anthony Yarde. I can say that now. Even at this stage. It's still the embryonic stage of his career. There's only going to be one Anthony Yarde.
But you don't want him fighting too long.
That's his decision. This is not a dictatorship.
But you'll always be a part of that, though, surely.
Oh. It's gonna. Me and Anne, we don't need to talk. You see, that's the thing. What, as I said earlier, the mistake that I made, talking about. It's not about talking. It's just about you feel the energy and you know it's right. You know it's right.
August 24th. Lions in the camp. Anthony Yarde goes to Russia. TUNDE AJAYI goes to Russia. Stamina Paso goes to Russia. Lions in the camp go to Russia. The Lions supporters go to Russia. And we knock out Kovalev. Take home the WBO championship of the world. And we all shout, Lions in the camp. If you smell what the beast is cooking. And he do the people's eyebrows.
Join us after the break as we turn our attention to a man looking to get back to winning ways in 2019. Former two-weight world champion, Carl Frampton.
I knew things had to change from that last performance. I feel like the camp went well with Warrington, but I'm just really focused now on, using my feet and being more reactive and sharp. And I've been really working on my nutrition and getting the weight down. Not that I wasn't living like a professional athlete before, but I've been really focused on just doing everything right this time.
Welcome back to No Filter Boxing. Many thought Carl Frampton could retire after defeat to Josh Warrington last year, but the Jackal is back in camp and ready to take on America. He faces Emmanuel Dominguez in Philadelphia on August the 10th and would love one last crack at a world title.
For probably a week, 10 days at least after the fight, I was a retired fighter in my head, and I was kind of going through the statement that I was going to make about retiring, what I was going to say and stuff, but I didn't want to rush into anything and make a knee-jerk reaction, and that's, even though I felt it, I never actually said it, like I was going to retire, and I was conscious of that in the changing room and stuff. I don't want to finish like that, I don't want to be remembered for that fight, the Josh Warrington defeat, and I want to get back, I want to be a world champion again.
The first 3 rounds lost him the fight in the sense of he set him that far back and he put him down the wrong path, and he did so well to come back and get himself back in the fight, but really those 3 rounds lost him the fight, and I did say that to him all the way through the training camp, even if you win this by 12 rounds, it's not going to be physically an easy fight.
I knew he was very fit, very tough, strong, and a big featherweight. I did underestimate his punching power, and he nailed me in the first round, and he nailed me in the second round, and I've never been hit like that in my life, and not trying to make excuses, but where's the evidence to suggest that Josh Warrington is the puncher when you look at his record? You know what I mean? I think he's got 6 knockouts, something like that, but I know firsthand he can definitely punch. I was annoyed just because of the performance, and I could see things that I was doing wrong, and there was real simple mistakes, and obviously he won the first 3 rounds big. There was a few rounds after that then when I started to come back into this fight, and then there was another few rounds where I kind of could have won the round. They were close rounds, and he stole them at the end as well. So there was things I can change that I think could flip that result on its head. I don't want to do a disservice to Josh because he won the fight pretty convincingly in my eyes. I was the first to admit it and say I was well beat after it, and I was watching it back. I was well beat, but I still think that I'm better than that.
And then because you can control your pace there with it.
Jimmy's an honest man. He's been honest with me, and he was honest in talking about how I win fights and what I need to do to win fights. So it's good. You need to hear that. You don't want to just listen to bluster and just things that you want to hear. I've got 2 honest coaches here, and they believe I can get back to being a world champion.
So that left up, boom, and then you're off that centre foot and you come back. Yeah.
He believes I can win a world title. If he see me coming back to the gym and kind of just going through the motions and not really having the hunger and desire, I'm sure he'd be the first to tell me, just go home and chill out your phone. I knew things had to change from that last performance. I feel like the camp went well with Warrington, but I'm just really focused now on, using my feet and being more reactive and sharp, and I've been really working on my nutrition and getting the weight down steady rather than, I've done the weight well the last time as well, but everything has been going very, very smoothly, and not that I wasn't living like a professional athlete before, but I've been really focused on just doing everything right this time. I'm relaxed and not trying to force things, and being, I'm using my feet and trying to be reactive, and I hate speaking about myself in the third person. We got the old Carl Frampton back.
First and foremost, Carl's got to go over there and perform. He's going to try and put himself back in the shop window and hope for the challenge for the world title before the end of the year, hopefully get that boxing going, you know what I mean? You see the distance he creates when he does it.
He's a good fighter, tall, 5'9", good Mexican style. He's a nice fighter and punches long, punches well to the body. He lost to Josh Gill pretty convincingly, but I think it's probably one of them cases of guy flies in from Mexico the day before the weigh-in. It could have been, I'm not sure, but I'll not be taking him for granted. He's here to upset the apple cart really, and his whole world opens up if he beats me. But that's what I'm focused on, and I feel like the way things are going in the gym at the minute, I'll beat him, and I'll beat him convincingly.
I've always liked the Valdez fight for Carl. I've said that, style-wise, I think it suits him. I think maybe the mistakes he made against Warrington will probably win him the fight more so than he would have done maybe beforehand. So I like that fight for him. And then you never know what a scene that had set up for Carl being a world champion and then setting up a rematch with Josh Warrington.
The Valdez fight obviously can happen. We're both at top rank and he's a world champion. If I win that fight, I am a world champion. Imagine, you know, the trilogy decider with Santa Cruz and a unification. Imagine a rematch and a unification with Warrington. Imagine a rematch with Valdez. They're all huge fights.
Carl Frampton's very much still capable of beating every one of them. It's just a case of him getting his tactics right and his mindset right in the fight. You know, we've had conversations about him after the Warrington fight, even going back to his amateur days when his amateur coach would say to him, you know, you see red when you get hit and you can't do that, you have to keep your composure and stay calm, and, you know, they're all lessons. And like I say, I firmly believe that the lessons from the Warrington fight will eventually, you know, we'll look back on that and go, he's just won that fight, and a massive part of the reason he's won that fight is because of the lessons he took from the Warrington fight.
My dream at the minute is to get back to being a world champion, call myself a world champion again. I haven't been able to do that in a few years now, but I think I can do it, I genuinely do. And if I do, if I win another world title, I believe I will, well, I sound big-headed, but I think I've kind of cemented myself as Ireland's greatest ever fighter.
I feel like I'm back. 100% back.
That's all we have time for. Join us next week as we bring you a heavyweight special program featuring Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Will they meet again? Join us for all the latest. But we leave you now with the knockout power of Anthony Yarde and Sergey Kovalev. What a fight this should be.
The beast, Anthony Yarde.
You could feel the weight of that body shot, and by that hurts. Oh, goodness me. Down he goes, clubbing right hands, good fast hands.
How about that? Oh, great shot.
Two savage body shots and a big right hand as well.
Oh, what a great shot. What a punch.
Big right to the body. Oh, that's surely, and it is all over.